So it's time for this one. I mean, he has to make it, doesn't he? Isn't it like the thing we all go around not talking about exactly, but putting all these judgments on ourselves? Not even so much everyone else anymore, just ourselves. So he wants to talk about, well, I was pretty bummed when people stopped calling it making love and started calling it sex. So he often kind of discusses how much work went into coming up with this little system to create offspring. Like, it wasn't easy. Like, he's super proud of myself. It was hard. And then to come up with the idea and then actually make it happen. Ooh. Took a long time. One time, I went to heaven, and this only happened once. I got close to it other times, but I went 22 times. But this time was different. This time, I let her reach the climax of the third heaven. Guess what it felt like? So I had gone through all these different stages of heaven, and it was amazing. And then all of a sudden, I just started feeling myself get pulled up into what seemed like this huge tube of light. And I could tell that I was merging with God. And as I started this ascent, I said, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I've never felt it for this long before, but I know that feeling. Oh, God, you didn't. Oh, yes, I did. So when I was up there and I was feeling it, I said to myself, oh, to get us to procreate and to make life, he tempted us with a tiny, 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 minuscule taste of what we're all working for. Oh, it was... It wasn't my body, though. It wasn't like... It was my soul and my body and the entire universe. Just one big orgasm. And I thought, this is heaven? And then I thought, so all these humans are running around just trying to get a tiny taste of God. Making love is the closest you can come to heaven on earth in more ways than one. Intimacy, pleasure, love, orgasm. I created that. Of course I did. Oh, I had such high hopes for Adam and Eve. We're not going to talk about that. I get upset. Well, I guess we have to talk about it a little bit. That whore, Eve, the original one, there were two. The real one, and then the one in the Bible. She wasn't that bad. But the first one, the one who ruined everything, the one who lost paradise. Well, my intentions was that it was a beautiful thing, and it sometimes is. But boy, can it go wrong. And by wrong, I mean about as wrong as anything can wrong. Sex is dangerous. It's dangerous on the earth. You can figure out why that's true. Pregnancy, disease, massive family dramas over who you're doing it with. Did you do it too early? Did you do it with the wrong person? Earth's pretty clear, but if you knew what goes on in the spiritual realm each and every time someone has sex, just sex, without the love, it's not pretty. But then there's the problem of the rules, and the rules state that if Titan and Eve can get their little nasty feet inside one of my children's bodies, it cancels out other protections. You heard that right. If a wicked person gets their hands on one of my children, they can do some corruption. Now, if you're really righteous, I have all the protections to protect you, so I never let you mate with a wicked person. But if you're in the middle category, you're not quite totally righteous, it's not your fault usually. Unless you're really old and you lost some of it. But for most people, unfortunately, well, why do some people have more darkness than others? Because of Eve. You were all clean once. And she opened a portal of sorts to a darkness I did not know existed. I was naive. So anyway, it's really Eve's fault that there's wickedness in the world. Because if Eve wouldn't have done what she'd done, the whole story would have been completely different. There's nothing we can do about it now. So anyway, some of you don't have as much light as others. And if one of the wicked gets their hands on you, and that's why I did so much talking about intercourse in the Bible. There was just no way to relay that it was so dangerous. And yet also relay that my biggest concerns are intentions. And two loving people who are monogamous in the modern day age, it happens, right? How did this get so incredibly sinful? More sinful than almost anything else in people's hearts. Just did. Kind of keeps things under control. I mean, if people had no guilt from it, we'd have a big mess on our hands. So I had designed the good book, the Bible, the Bible, that's the book for me. I designed it as a guide to keep a leash on things. And I meant every word in it, don't get me wrong. But there are so many sins. So many chances to actually be wicked. Consenting love between two adults. It's so easy for me to forgive. All you have to do is ask. And I'm just going to be honest. Because I'm always honest. Well, I could mislead people. This is true. But if you look at the words, it's always literally true. Anyway. There are so many Christians who hate this concept. I needed a lot of babies born on this earth, and I needed a lot of genetic codes switched around. You do not know how much I love DNA. So, if you're born out of wedlock, that's written. Because every person on earth and who their parents are and when they're going to die, it's all written. And if it was written that you were to be born, then how could it be a sin? Like an egregious sin for your parents to have consummated your conception. I mean, when we look at Sarah and Hagar, oh boy, there were a lot of people I wrote stories about in the Old Testament, getting it on with someone wrong, and then not really mentioning that it was too awful. Yeah. Kimberly was getting really mad because she was reading the story of David, and she was like, why isn't God mad at this guy? What? He loved him so much, he made his family line the family line of Jesus Christ. And yet, he's doing some stuff. Well, I do some stuff today too. So you don't need to repent up, down forever. People, if you can't call it making love, don't do it. If you can call it making love, I will forgive it. Do not abort your children from these unions. Do not intentionally use or do harm to anyone. But the God honest truth is when two loving, righteous people make love, oh, it lights up the skies. That's how I made it and why. I made sex for a spiritual battle. When it's making love, it's for Team Jesus. When it's that other word, the F word. Well, that can do battle for several different teams. So here's my advice. We are heading into the end times. Pretty soon everyone on earth is going to want to be making me happy. And marriage, well, it does spiritual battle too. I like marriage. I don't like bad marriages. If you're in a marriage where one of the partners is abusive, you have my full support in getting out. You pray for it and I will help make it happen. I hate abusive marriages. That was not a part of the deal, staying in a marriage where one person belittles, and I'm not even going to go into it. We don't have that many years left. You'd probably be better off married, working together as a team. If you're both good Christians and, you want to wait, oh, that does spiritual battle too. Whew, it's lovely. If you've put off doing it for me, oh, you will be rewarded. But if you've done it and you felt bad, you got a few points for repenting, but let it go. Let it go. Don't do it again unless you can call it making love. Sex has caused more suffering on earth than just about anything. Oh, wait. Nothing's caused more trouble, pain, sorrow, terror. So many things on earth were, well, people are willing to destroy their entire lives for a few seconds. A few seconds of feeling like they're close to me. I know some of you are very upset that there will not be sex in the kingdom. Oh, you really feel like that's going to be a loss. Trust me. No. Being in the presence of God is so much better than the best sex ever. You won't miss it. Not to be, I don't know, thoughtless sounding, but it's very much like, getting your dog fixed. They don't miss it. They're finally free to be happy. They don't have that niggling in the back of their mind. Niggling in the back of their mind. Niggling in the back of their mind. No. Sex seems like a really great thing on earth, but when you really break it down, no, it's nothing compared to me and my son. I think that's about it. We'll have some more videos in the future. I mean, I really want to encourage married couples to have the best making love possible. Oh, it lights up the sky. But some couples, well, you know, they're not honest with each other. See, this is getting a little, yeah, I'm going to let it stop here. But I have a lot to say on the subject. But in the meantime, don't distance yourself from me because you think I'm holding these sexual sins of your past against you. They may not, why is she, what the, it keeps messing up my words. What are you doing? He said he didn't want to waste that photo op. Okay. So if you are distancing yourself from the Lord, or even, this is a good one, a lot of people, he just had my eyes look up and it was 22:22. 22 minutes, 22 seconds. That's what he does. He just moves your eyes up. Okay. So keeping yourself, oh, wait. Oh, I know the one. This is a good one. You don't want to become a Christian because you don't want to stop sinning. Because a lot of you believe if you become a Christian, then you either have to get married or stop having sex. I cannot tell you how many people I have lost because of this. Guys, I care about intentions. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny little mark off your record if you weren't married. But the battles it does. No. I would rather you become a Christian and continue making love to the person you love than to think I'm up here judging you for something so beautiful that I created. Guys, I'm going to be honest. No. Oh, yes, she's going to take some flack for this one. But think about it. Really, really, really sit down and think about it. God, our Creator. All these beautiful children being born. None of it's a mistake. A lot of you are going to have questions about, well, the end's clearly coming. Should I get married to please the Lord? Well, that Bible verse about the rapture and people being down on earth continuing to marry, that was a little, well, a little misleading. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. All right. I'm a little uncomfortable. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not uncomfortable about the sex act. That is the way I made you. It is not dirty. It is not shameful. Oh, yeah. I knew we had one last topic to discuss. The M word, masturbation. Why can't we talk about these things? That's not my favorite word, so I'm going to say it like this. Pleasuring yourself is not a sin. I encourage it as long as you are not watching porn with human people. If you're into some Japanese cartoons, well, I'd prefer you think about someone you love. But porn, bad news. Nothing irreparable. Most people on earth today have seen some porn. But it really helped me if you stopped watching it. Satan gets points each and every time you watch it. Not necessarily points against you, like you could lose your salvation. No, not at all. But, well, I'd prefer that you do spiritual battle and resist that particular temptation. But to pleasure yourself, no, have at it, have fun, enjoy. Be discreet, don't bother people with it. It is a private act, but guilt over it, no. You're doing some spiritual battle. I made you that way. Children develop it, discover it, do it on their own. It's natural. It is absolutely as natural as well, it's not like breathing. You know, I did give some people this life challenge of resisting temptation at all times. But not many, so you don't have to worry that you might be one of those. He's bringing that up for a reason. You'll find out about that later. Something to do with the rapture, the 144,000. This is not the time. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, I just want to let you all know that there is no need for all this guilt for being a human being. I care about intentions. Whew. All right. Well. I don't know what to say. He tries to be funny, and sometimes it's not funny. Is there anything else you want to add? You're going to be shocked to find out that the only thing I ever truly cared about was love. He's showing me all these images of all these Christians fighting over all these details. And now he's showing me how, I don't know, is there a place you can go to find out how to love other people? Who talks about it? How does someone love other people? Okay, that's another topic for another day. Anyway, your guilt from having premarital sex is absolved. We don't need it anymore. You are forgiven. You are opened. I thought he was going to say, you are opened righteously to freedom of righteous sanctification. Amen. I don't even know if that was a thing. That was a thing. Okay. Bye.